The toxic relation, or an unhealthy relationship, it seemed to be a sentence that was no longer foreign to hear. This is because, at present, a large number of couples are showing their affection by paying more attention and controlling their partner's activities, but pointing to the true possessive nature as a sign that the pair is on the toxic relationship. Sometimes, to know a toxic relation with a sincere love is a little difficult. Furthermore, if you and your mate had a long-lasting relationship, about a matter of months or years, then the difference between the sincere and toxic relation was already off the point. How about you? Is your relationship the toxic relation? Who is toxic? You or your partner? Then, what's the solution if you are on the toxic relationship? I'm Miftah Nurjanah as a speaker of the seminar titled Toxic Intoxication. Is your toxic relation? For the next hour, we will discuss further what the toxic relation is, recognize the characteristic of the toxic types already, and the solution to exit the toxic circle. Let's discuss it.
So, what exactly is a toxic relationship? A toxic relationship is often characterized by repeated, mutually destructive modes of relating between a couple. These patterns can involve jealousy, possessiveness, dominance, manipulation, desperation, selflessness, or rejection. However, one common theme in a toxic relationship involves the partner's intense draw toward each other, despite the pain they both cause one another. Next, types of toxic relationship. Any relationship involving physical violence or substance abuse is by definition extremely toxic and require immediate intervention and, with very few exceptions, separation of the two partners. While these relationships are not necessarily irreparable, I cannot emphasize too much how destructive they are. If you are in such a relationship, get help now. A further note, for the sake of brevity, I will often use the word victim to refer to the recipient of toxic behavior. In reality, however, this individual is not a victim, at least not in the sense that they are helpless to do anything about their relationship. First, the precursor belittler. This type of toxic individual will constantly belittle you. He or she will make fun of you, essentially implying that pretty much anything you say that express your ideas, beliefs, or wants is silly or stupid. A toxic partner will not hesitate to belittle you in public, in front of your friends or family, even though you may have asked your toxic partner to stop belittling you. He or she will continue this behavior, occasion, occasionally distinguishing it by saying, "I'm just kidding. Can you take a joke?" The problem is they are not kidding, and what they are doing is not a joke. The toxic partner wants all decision making power. Unfortunately, if you tolerate this deprecating behavior long enough, you very well may begin to believe you cannot make a good decision. This type of toxic individual will often tell you that you are lucky to have them as a partner, that no other man or woman would really want you. His or her goal is to keep yourself and them as long as possible so that you don't challenge their absolute control of the relationship. Second, the bad-tempered toxic partner. Controlling by intimidation is a classic behavior of a toxic partner. Often, these individuals have unpredictable and hair-triggered temper. Their partners often describe themselves as walking on eggshells around the toxic partner, never quite knowing that will send him or her into a rage. This constant need for vigilance and inability to know what will trigger an angry outburst wear on the both of victims' emotional and physical health. Again, it is noteworthy that this type of emotionally abusive partner rarely show the side of his or herself to the outside world. He or she is frequently seen as a pleasant, easygoing person who almost everyone likes. As you would accept, if you confront a bad temper partner about the inappropriateness of their anger, they will almost always blame their temper outbursts on you. Somehow it's your fault, they yell and scream. This disowning of some responsibility for this dysfunctional behavior is typical of a toxic partner. The third, the over-dependent partner. Odd as it may seem, one method of toxic control is for your partner to be so passive that you have to make most decisions for her or his. This toxic controller wants you to make virtually every decision for them, from where to go to dinner or what car to buy and anything else. Remember, not deciding is a decision that has the advantage of making someone else, namely you, responsible for the outcome of that decision. And of course, you will know when you have made the wrong decision by your partner's passive aggressive behavior, such as pouting or not talking to you because you choose a movie or restaurant they didn't enjoy. Passivity can be an extremely powerful means of control. If you are involved in a relationship with a passive controller, you will likely experience content anxiety and or fatigue as you worry about the impact of your decision on your partner and are drained by having to make virtually every decision. The fourth is the user. Users, especially at the beginning of a relationship, often seem to be very nice, courteous, and pleasant individuals. And they are, as long as they are getting everything that want from you. What makes a relationship with a user toxic? It is one-way nature and the fact that you will end up never having done enough for them. Users are big-time energy drainers who will in fact leave you if they find someone else who will do more from them. Actually, a really adept user will occasionally do some small thing for you, usually something that doesn't inconvenience or cost them too much. Be warned, they have not given you a gift. They have given you an obligation. If you ever balk at doing something for them or doing things their way, they will immediately hold whatever they have done over your head and work hard to end that goal. Staying in a relationship with a user is like paying $1,000 for a candy bar. You really are not getting much for your investment. The last is the possessive or paranoid toxic controller. This type of toxic individual is really bad news. Early in your relationship with them, you may actually appreciate their jealousy, particularly if it isn't too controlling. And most, but certainly not all, possessives will imply that once the two of you are married or in a committed relationship, they will be just fine. Don't believe it for a moment. These toxic individuals will become more and more suspicions, and controlling as time goes on. They will check the odometer in your car to make sure you haven't gone somewhere you shouldn't. They will interrogate you if you have to stay late at work. They will, in short, make your life miserable. Over time, they will work hard to eliminate any meaningful relationship you have with friends and something even with family. They do not see themselves in a relationship with you. They see themselves as possessing you. Your effort to reassure a toxic possessive about your fidelity and commitment to them will be in vain. If you stay in a relationship with such an individual, you will guess to really have a life of your own. So now that you have known the kinds or types of toxic relationship earlier, can you now determine if your relationship, you or your partner is toxic? If so, then what do you have to do? I will give you the solutions. How do you get out of a toxic relationship? The bad news is that you cannot change your partner. The good news is that you can change yourself, which may lead you to behave differently with your partner, resulting in your partner deciding to change his or her behavior. Essentially, what you do is calmly but firmly confirm the toxic behavior. You do this by identifying the behaviors to your partner, letting him or her know they are not longer acceptable, and suggesting alternate behaviors that would work better. Simple, isn't it? Actually, it is. Once again, you have to believe you deserve to be treated with courtesy, compassion, and respect in a relationship, or will not continue the relationship.
Okay, remember that a toxic relationship is one where love is priorities over anything else, including respect, truth, and affection for each other. It's more than just a road patch. It's a recurring, long-term pattern of bad behavior on one or both sides. So, how do you shift this pattern in a relationship? Now, the route from a toxic relationship to a healthy one is not an easy one. But I'm going to be honest, most people won't be able to do it. But there is a change things can change for the better. You have your work cut out for you, but if you can do the following three things, you have a shot at making it work. First, both partners are willing to change. Both partners recognize the lack of affection, trust, respect, and are willing to work on it. Plus, both partners can communicate in a healthy way without excessive blaming or judgment. Again, fixing a toxic relationship is not an easy thing to do, but most things in life worth doing are not easy. You might also decide to end the relationship at the point, and that's okay. But if you are both willing to work on it, that is worth the effort and the awkward conversation and, yes, even the pain. Okay, I think enough. I hope you can find the answer you want from my explanation. Thanks for your attention. Bye bye.